Hello and welcome to Ultimate Guinness World Records and the start of an exciting series here on Challenge. Over the last few months, our team of crack researchers have been scouring the vaults of Guinness World Records to bring you the bravest, weirdest, most astounding world record attempts out there. And let me tell you, they've really brought home the bacon. Thankfully, though, for you guys, they've also brought home hundreds of unbelievable record attempts. On today's action-packed show, we have record attempts from Germany, where a man is going to go baseball batty. Spain, where a man is going to see how many pegs he can get on his face. Viva la France, where we'll see this Frenchman attempt to get himself and his bike right on top of that tower. Finland, where we'll meet the incredible bubble scientist. And back to France, where you'll see not one, not two, but 16 cars driving on two wheels. Now this, as most of you will know, is a baseball bat. And like most baseball bats, is made of solid wood. Now for most people out there, the idea of breaking one of these in half with your bare legs would be what's known in the medical profession as bonkers. But not for this next guy. This man is a trained martial artist. Do not even think about attempting this yourself. It is incredibly dangerous. Now this guy is about to try and set the world record for the most baseball bats kicked in half in 60 seconds. It makes you wonder what he's got against baseball. But we haven't got time to think about that because here he goes. Whoa. That has got to hurt. Here he goes, powering through them as if they're made of butter. Nothing is going to stop him. Like I said, as if they're made of butter. Except that one, which definitely looks like it's made of wood. That's the first stand done. OK, 20 of them down. The next 10 to go. Oh, he's slowing down now. I'm not surprised. That can't be good for you. There's about 30 seconds left on the clock and plenty of encouragement from the audience. Last one left to go. One more should do it. And he's through. Stop the clock. That's it. Give him a great big round of applause. I just wonder what got him into this in the first place. This now must be getting really, really tense. This is the official Guinness World Records adjudicator. What he'll do now is subtract the amount of baseball bats to the left away from the total amount of baseball bats they started with. Fingers crossed he's going to do it. Let's see that again in slow motion. Two at once.
Komm, du Arschloch! Locker! Ja, komm on! Komm! 22 noch! Ja. Ist das schlimm in irgendeiner Form? Kein Problem.
Also wenn ich will. Aber jetzt ganz
Oh, there's a presentation coming across. He's getting a kiss. It looks like he's done it. Yes! It is an official Guinness World Record. 23 bats smashed in half in 43 seconds. Let's just savor this moment one last time. Yes, as I suspected. It doesn't look any less painful in slow motion. His mum must be incredibly proud of him. And if the record wasn't enough, he even gets a handshake from the German presenter. Let's just hope it was all worthwhile. That was smashing. Now, Guinness World Record holders don't tend to think like you or I do. Whereas we might see a tarantula as a poisonous spider, they might see it as something to hold in their mouth for 30 seconds whilst riding a motorcycle through a minefield. And, as we've seen, where they might see baseball bats as things you can kick in too, people like you or I would never dream of doing such a thing. But what about this humble clothes peg? What could our record breakers possibly use this for? Spain, home of bullfighting, siestas, and this man, who is about to try and break one of the most astounding records you'll ever see. Just like a human clothes horse, this gentleman is about to see how many pegs he can attach to his face. The previous record, set by himself, is a mind-boggling and face-pinching 120. When, where, and how do you find out that you have this talent? I can't believe he's using a mirror and he's still going on. Well, that's enough to peg out over 6 washing machines full of clothes. I hope he doesn't take this long shaving. Well, he seemed to start at the outside and slowly make his way to the middle. A bit like eating a jammy dodger, really, only slightly more painful. We'll come back and see how he's getting on in a little while, because now it's time to join those daredevils from Finland as our next aspiring record breaker attempts to jump a wall that measures a staggering 2 meters and 75 centimeters. That's the same height as a normal-sized adult standing on top of another one. This record attempt requires strength, skill, and a very high wall. Our challenger is bravely attempting to jump up a wall that measures a staggering 2 meters and 75 centimeters. Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. There you go, he's done it! But there's no time to celebrate because that's only half the story. Now, a young man from France is going to see if he can do even better. We join the action as he attempts to scale a wall measuring an altitude sickness-inducing 3 meters and 20 centimeters. Ooh, so close, but not this time. Now, just to give you some perspective, that's the same height as a normal-sized man stood on top of another normal-sized man, with a small dog on his head. There it is again in slow motion. Glad he missed the crossbar on that one. Okay, here he comes for the second attempt. Just checking that the handlebars are there. Give the frame a polish. Got to look your best on national television. Yes, brakes are there. Here he goes. Just getting his balance, getting his poise. Just checking that the ramp's still there. Yes, it is. Hope that guy on the top gets out of the way. Getting himself into position. This is absolutely crucial. He must approach the wall at the exact correct speed, otherwise he will just fly straight into it, and then we will not be breaking any world records. Here he goes. This time it's 3 meters and 21 centimeters. Here he goes. And he's done it! He's up! A new Guinness World Record of 3 meters and 21 centimeters. He must feel on top of the world. Well, on top of the wall at least. That is the new Guinness World Record for the highest trials bike wall climb. Here it is once more in slow motion. Fantastic. I could never do that. It would drive me up the wall. Now it's time for a break. So, if you're putting the kettle on, mine's a hot cup of tea, please. And while we're away, you can chew on this. How tall was the tallest man ever recorded in history? Was he A, 9'2", B, 8'11", or C, 8'2"? Find out the correct answer when we return. Before the break, I asked you how tall was the tallest man ever recorded in history. Was it A, 9'2", B, 8'11", or C, 8'2"? The correct answer was B, 8'11". The man in question was Robert Wadlow from the USA, who died at the age of 22, measuring a gigantic 8'11" and 1/10 of an inch. Welcome back. OK, to kick us off, we're going to pay another visit to the incredible Pegman. Oh, ouch! Would you look at that? What a sight. He looks a bit like, well, a man with a lot of pegs on his face, really. But he's over halfway to breaking the world record and showing no signs of slowing up. In fact, he's doing just as well as the person who set the previous record was at this stage, so you could say it's level pegging. But you have got to wonder where all the other pegs are going to be placed. This is precision pegging. He's obviously had a lot of peg practice. As you can see, he started the pegs in layers, starting from the base of the chin, working from the center of the face. Ah, that'll help. One's fallen off. He's going to try again. Yes, that's it. Make the grip underneath the wrinkle. It's fallen off again. There we go. We're now moving from the left-hand side to the right. That's his right and our left. We seem to have found another gap halfway down his face. He's using every available inch of skin. Any gaps could be crucial to the Guinness World Record. We'll go back to Pegman for a final time at the end of the show. But now, come with me to Finland, where we're going to meet a man who is half children's entertainer, half pioneering scientist. Intrigued? Well, you should be.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Fine, thanks.
All right. How did you get this idea of blowing big bubbles?
When I was a little boy, I was fascinated about the rainbows. It was always a question for me how this beautiful creation of the nature works. So one day it just happened that a friend of mine brought me the box with the bubble toys. So I was playing with those toys, blowing the bubbles. There was a bubble flying to the air and landed on the hard surface and stays there. So I was more than surprised why the bubble doesn't pop. But the reason why the surface area was wet, so the moisture and liquid keep that bubble in the light. So at that very moment I have captured the reflection from the lights on the surface of the soap film.
And similarity.
So like this the new idea was born. So in the very beginning I have trying to make the bubble just biggest size than normal you can make with the toys, to reflect the lights and to have artificial rainbows. And then with the time experimenting with various liquid solution, I find a way how to make a large bubble to reflect the lights, and I have explored the science of bubbles. And this is how I get the idea to start with the show.
That was a very good story.
Yes, yeah. 18 years
18 years?
Yes, for 18 years.
Is this just your hobby, or is it something more?
No, it's turned into a professional work for me because I'm involved into many other things beside the bubble. I have a science exhibit on the bubbles. I do produce my bubble toys. I actually put the art and science together, and I bring the bubbles media to the new artistic dimension.
What do you call? What is your profession?
It is the bubble science.
Bubble scientist.
Bubble scientist, yes.
Bubble scientist. Whoa, bubble scientist. Never heard.
If he can do all that in a TV studio, imagine the fun he must have when he's in the bath.
So, what will happen next?
Okay, this is a record Fan Yang already holds, but it's for the most concentric bubble domes. That is, bubbles within bubbles built up, getting smaller and smaller and smaller towards the middle of the table. Right. Now, Fan's existing record is 11, so to beat the record, he has to get 12. 12. New Guinness World Record. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Congratulations, man. Thank you. You broke your own record. That's a new Guinness record. Uusi Guinnessin maailmanennätys. Se on tässä. 12 saippua kuplaa sisäkkäin. Oh! Well done. Well done.
Now, buckle your seatbelts and get ready for a bumpy ride because we're headed back to France for a world record attempt that would even make a stuntman scared, especially if he was a stuntman who didn't like cars. These highly skilled French drivers are going to attempt to get every one of their cars simultaneously driving on 2 wheels. That's 16 cars all using only half their available wheels. Now, for every Guinness World Record attempt, there has to be a lot of preparation. Everything has to be checked and rechecked. Tyre pressure has to be spot on. Wheel nuts have to be incredibly tight. And a big white van has to drive straight down a yellow line. And the ramp has to be on the exact mark. Now, if you were wondering where we were, it's actually a military airfield. We're just waiting for air traffic control to give us clearance. And he's off. And so are the cars approaching the ramp. Now, if they pull this off, it will be a truly incredible world record. But if any of the cars should fall all the way over on their roof, then we could be talking at worst a badly injured driver, and at best, a scratched roof, which I suppose isn't too bad. Thumbs up. Here comes the first car approaching the ramp. He's up safely. Goes car number 2. And car number 3. That's cars 9 and 10. Wow, that cameraman's brave. The last remaining cars to go over the ramp. So far, so good. Perfect formation. Everyone's steady at the moment. Up goes the van. There we go. Now all 16 cars are up. They just have to maintain that for a little bit longer. I think these guys could give James Bond a run for their money. Perfect formation. I think the Red Arrows could learn a few things from here. That's it, keeping it steady. The weight distribution has to be absolutely spot on in order to keep the cars safe on 2 wheels. Just a few more seconds. Absolutely perfect formation. Better be careful, because I think we're going to be running out of runway. Yes, here they come to the turning circle. Do not attempt this on your driving test. The cone's down, but the cars are still up. And there we go, the first couple of cars are now back on all 4 wheels. It's like watching synchronized swimming. There you go, driver's view. Bit of a bumpy ride, that one. So there you have it, 16 cars up on their side. A new Guinness World Record for the most amount of cars simultaneously on 2 wheels. Now, before we say goodbye, what do you call a woman with clothes pegs on her face? Peggy. And what do you call a man with clothes pegs on his face?
Well, I'd ask him, but he doesn't look able to talk because Mr. Pegman is attempting to break his previous record by attaching 120 pegs to his face. And as you can see, my own record attempt fell agonisingly close. So let's leave it to the experts.
And we join him once again, almost at the very end of the record attempt. This does look incredibly painful. And one's fallen off. Let's try again with that. Great support from the studio audience. I'm surprised he can hear it. Looks like he's almost totally out of pegs, though. Better get back down the cash and carry. And the adjudicator telling him there's a little bit of space left on the bridge of his nose. Obviously can't see the mirror from there. Yes, he's still breathing. That's the main thing. And he's now equalled the world record. On goes the first blue peg. That is now an official, brand new Guinness World Record. Nothing's going to stop him. On goes the second blue peg on the end of his nose. Time's up. Every last inch of skin on his face. And yes, he's done it. Congratulations, that's the new Guinness World Record. I have to ask, though, was it worth it? His face has taken a battering. I hope he hasn't got a hot date tonight, because that really isn't attractive. If only he could put them on as quickly as he can take them off. Careful, mate. You've got one just down a bit. It's under your eye. That's it. Can you? That's lovely. And your lip. Well done. Yes, congratulations. 122 wooden pegs on your face. That's a new Guinness World Record. He's obviously very well practiced if he ever has to hang his face out to dry.
Well, that's all we have time for on today's show. We've seen some amazing people and some incredible records. Join us next time on Ultimate Guinness World Records for more of the same. Now, if you'll excuse me, after all that excitement, I'm off to break the world record for the longest sleep anyone's ever had. See ya.